Life has a way of testing us in the most unexpected moments. The struggles we face are not accidents, and they are not punishments. They are invitations to grow into the person we were always meant to become. It's easy to feel strong when everything is going smoothly, when the path is clear, and when doors open without resistance. But real strength is not built in moments of ease. It is forged in the fire of difficulty, in the weight of trials, and in the uncertainty of hardship. Every challenge you face is shaping you, chiseling away the fear, the doubt, and the limits you once believed in. When life pushes you to your knees, it is not the end, it is the beginning of a deeper fight within you. Struggle has a way of revealing what you're truly capable of. It strips away the illusions of weakness and forces you to see that you are far more powerful than you thought. You might feel tired, you might feel alone, and you might even feel like quitting. But the truth is, you've already survived so much. You've carried burdens that once felt impossible, and yet here you are, still standing. That is proof of your resilience. That is proof that the storm you're in right now will not break you. It will remake you. The strength you gain in struggle is not just about enduring pain. It's about transforming through it. It's about finding purpose in the process. Every tear you've cried, every night you've stayed awake wondering how you'll make it through, and every moment you've doubted yourself, all of it is fuel. It's the raw energy that will one day drive your greatest achievements. The world's strongest souls are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who get back up, no matter how many times life knocks them down. Struggle teaches you patience. It teaches you humility. It forces you to rely on hope when everything else feels like it's falling apart. It builds a quiet, unshakable confidence inside you that no one can take away. And when you come out the other side, you won't just be stronger. You'll be wiser, more compassionate, and more certain of who you are. You'll realize that the battle you were fighting wasn't just about overcoming the obstacle in front of you. It was about becoming the kind of person who could. There will be moments when it feels like you're walking through the dark without a light. But understand, this strength doesn't come from seeing the whole path ahead. It comes from taking one step at a time, even when the road is uncertain. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You just need to keep moving forward, no matter how slow the pace. Every small step you take in the struggle is a victory, and each one is carrying you toward a life you can be proud of. One day, you will look back on the battles you fought and realize they were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to prepare you. They were shaping your character, sharpening your will, and giving you the courage to face even greater challenges ahead. You'll see that the struggle you thought was breaking you was actually building you into someone unstoppable. So don't run from your struggle. Don't hide from it or resent it. Embrace it, because within it lies the opportunity to discover the strongest version of yourself. This is your proving ground. This is where you find out what you're made of. And when you finally emerge from it, you'll carry a strength that no one can take away, a strength earned in the struggle, and a strength that will carry you through every chapter of your life. True strength is forged in hardship, not in moments of ease. Anyone can feel confident and capable when life is flowing smoothly, when the road ahead is clear, and when every step feels light. In moments of comfort, it's easy to believe you are strong because you have not been tested. But true strength, the kind that lasts, the kind that carries you through storms, comes only when you've had to face adversity head on. Hardship is the furnace where resilience is born, and without the heat of challenges, the steel of your character remains untempered. It's the weight of the world pressing down on you that forces you to develop the muscles, mental, emotional, and spiritual, that you didn't even know you had. Think about it as a tree that grows in a sheltered environment, shielded from the wind, develops shallow roots. It may look tall and healthy, but the moment a storm arrives, it is easily uprooted. Meanwhile, the tree that has been battered by seasons of wind, rain, and storm sends its roots deeper into the earth. It learns to anchor itself more firmly, to bend without breaking, to withstand forces that would topple the untested. Human beings are the same way. The more we face trials, the more deeply we root ourselves in resilience, patience, and courage. Hardship strips away illusions. When life is easy, we can mistake comfort for strength, thinking that our current stability is proof of our power. But ease never demands more of us. It never stretches us beyond our current abilities. It is only when we are pressed beyond what we think we can endure that we discover just how much we are capable of. These moments are not pleasant while we are in them. They can be exhausting, painful, and sometimes overwhelming. But when we come out the other side, we look back and realize that those difficult seasons were the very ones that shaped our character the most. Strength built in hardship is different because it carries with it a depth of experience and a quiet confidence that cannot be faked. It is not loud or boastful. It doesn't need to be. This kind of strength is calm in chaos, steady under pressure, and willing to take the next step even when fear is screaming in the background. It knows what it means to feel like the odds are stacked against you and still move forward anyway. The reality is that life will test everyone sooner or later. None of us are exempt from loss, failure, rejection, or disappointment. But those who understand that hardship is not an enemy, but a teacher, approach their struggles differently. Instead of asking, "Why me?" they begin to ask, "What can I learn from this? How will this shape me? What strength will I carry out of this season?" That shift in mindset changes everything because it transforms suffering into an opportunity for growth. In the process of facing hardship, we learn self-discipline. We learn how to adapt. We discover how to find hope, even in the darkest moments. These are not skills that develop in comfort. They are earned in the crucible of challenge. They require us to dig deep into our reserves, to keep moving when quitting would be easier, and to believe in the possibility of a better future, even when we can't see it yet. Some of the most inspiring people in history became who they were because of the hardships they endured. Great leaders, innovators, and heroes are rarely shaped by lives of uninterrupted ease. They faced failures, betrayals, and setbacks, but instead of letting those moments break them, they allowed them to strengthen their resolve. Every obstacle became a stepping stone. Every disappointment became fuel for persistence. And with each battle, their strength grew, not because they avoided struggle, but because they embraced it as part of the journey. Hardship also teaches empathy. When you've been through pain, you understand the weight others may be carrying. Your own scars become a bridge that allows you to connect with people in their struggles. Strength is not only about enduring for yourself. It's about becoming a source of support and inspiration for those who are still in the fight. That's why the strength gained in hardship has the power to change not just your life, but the lives of those around you. It's important to remember that strength built in hardship is not something that appears overnight. It is developed through consistency, through showing up day after day, even when the progress feels slow. It's in the moments when no one is watching, when you're fighting private battles and pushing through doubts, that your inner fortitude is formed. Every time you choose to face the challenge instead of running from it, you add another layer to your strength. One day, you will look back at the hardships you've endured and realize they were the training ground for everything you've achieved. The very situations you once prayed to escape will have become the source of your greatest growth. You'll understand that strength was never about having an easy life. It was about learning to navigate a hard one with courage, grace, and unshakable determination. And when the next storm comes, and it will, you'll face it with the quiet certainty that you've been here before, you've survived before, and you are stronger now than you've ever been. The truth is simple but powerful. You don't build real strength in the sunshine. You build it in the storm. Every hardship you face is an opportunity to sharpen your spirit, deepen your resilience, and prove to yourself that no matter what comes, you have the power to rise. The struggle may not feel like a gift while you're in it, but one day you'll see it for what it truly is. the forge where your strongest self was created. Every challenge is an opportunity to discover your resilience. Life does not always go the way we plan it, and often the moments that shape us most are the ones we never saw coming. Challenges arrive uninvited, disrupting our comfort and pushing us into situations where we must face uncertainty, discomfort, and sometimes pain. It's natural to feel resistance when these moments come. We wish for them to pass quickly, to get back to the familiar and easy parts of life. But hidden within every challenge is a chance to uncover a strength we might not have known we possessed. That strength is resilience, the ability to adapt, to endure, and to continue forward even when everything in us wants to stop. Resilience is not something you're born with in full measure. It's something that grows every time you face a trial and decide to keep going. Just like a muscle becomes stronger the more you use it, resilience becomes more powerful each time it is tested. Every challenge is like weight training for your spirit. At first, the load may feel impossible to bear. Your mind might scream that it's too much. Your heart might feel heavy with doubt. But if you persist, you slowly realize that you can carry more than you thought. The next time life hands you a heavy burden, you find it a little easier to lift. Not because the burden is lighter, but because you have become stronger. Challenges force us to step outside the boundaries of what is comfortable. In comfort, we remain the same. We live in the limits of what we know, afraid to step into the unknown. But when a challenge comes, it shatters that safe bubble and demands that we grow. We must learn new skills, develop patience, and tap into creativity we didn't know we had. In that process of adapting, we discover the depth of our own resilience. We begin to see that resilience is not about avoiding struggle, but about becoming someone who can face it without losing hope. Sometimes we don't realize how resilient we are until we have no choice but to be. It's in those moments when you're knocked down by life and think you cannot get up that resilience whispers, "Try one more time." It's in the sleepless nights when you're worrying about how to move forward and you still get up in the morning to face the day. It's in the heartbreaks, the losses, and the failures when you choose to keep your heart open to the possibility of something better. These moments are proof that resilience lives inside you, waiting to be called upon. Every challenge also reveals to us that resilience is not about never falling apart. It's about putting yourself back together again. You can feel fear. You can feel pain. You can even feel like giving up and still be resilient. Resilience is not perfection. It is persistence. It's the decision to rise each time you fall, no matter how many times it happens. That decision builds an inner confidence that no one can take away, because you know that no matter what happens, you have the capacity to recover. It's important to remember that challenges don't just build resilience, they reveal it. You may think you are weak until you survive something you thought would break you. You may believe you can't handle pressure until you're put in a position where you must act under it. With each challenge, you add a new story to your personal history. A story that says, "I've faced the storm before, and I can face it again." These stories become a source of strength, reminding you of what you've already overcome whenever new trials come your way. Challenges also teach us resourcefulness. When faced with a problem you've never encountered, you learn to look for solutions in places you never considered before. You become more creative, more determined, and more willing to try again after a failure. Resilience is not just about enduring hardship. It's about using it as fuel to move forward with wisdom and courage. That shift in perspective transforms challenges from something to be feared into something to be embraced. And here's the thing, every challenge leaves you different than you were before. You might carry some scars, but you also carry more strength, more clarity, and more confidence. Resilience grows each time you survive, adapt, and keep going. This is why people who have faced great difficulties often have an unshakable calm about them. They know that storms pass, and they know that they have what it takes to make it through. One of the most empowering realizations is that resilience can be built on purpose. You can approach challenges with the mindset that they are opportunities to grow rather than punishments to endure. You can ask yourself, how is this shaping me? What will I take from this that will serve me later? That attitude doesn't make the challenge easier, but it does make it meaningful. It turns pain into a teacher, obstacles into stepping stones, and setbacks into comebacks. When you start seeing challenges this way, you stop fearing them so much. Instead of avoiding discomfort at all costs, you lean into it knowing that every test is also a lesson. You develop a trust in yourself that no matter what happens, you can adapt, adjust, and keep moving. That trust is the essence of resilience, and it's what allows you to face the future without being paralyzed by fear. So, the next time you find yourself in a difficult season, remember this: you are not just surviving, you are training. You are uncovering a well of resilience that will serve you for the rest of your life. You may not feel strong in the moment, but every step you take forward is proof that strength is growing within you. One day, you will look back at this challenge and realize it was a turning point, a moment when you truly discovered the depth of your resilience and understood that there is no limit to how far you can go. Struggle transforms pain into purpose and doubt into determination. In the midst of hardship, it's easy to see only the discomfort, the frustration, and the weight of what you're going through. Pain has a way of narrowing our vision, making us focus solely on what's going wrong and how much we wish things were different. Doubt creeps in, whispering that we are not strong enough, not capable enough, or not worthy enough to make it through. Yet, hidden within the very struggle we wish to escape is the raw material for transformation. If we allow it, pain can be reshaped into purpose, and doubt can be forged into unshakable determination. The truth is, purpose rarely comes to us in moments of ease. More often than not, it's born from the times when we've been tested, when life has pushed us to our breaking point and forced us to dig deeper than we thought possible. Pain forces us to reflect, to question, and to search for meaning. We begin to ask ourselves why we are going through this and what we are meant to learn from it. That search for meaning is where purpose begins to grow. Suddenly, the very experiences that once felt like a curse can become a calling. You may discover that the lessons you learned through hardship are exactly what you can use to help others, to inspire change, or to create something meaningful. Doubt, too, plays a role in this transformation. When you're facing uncertainty, it's normal to question yourself. You wonder if you have what it takes, if the effort is worth it, or if you'll ever see results. But here's the secret. Doubt is not the enemy, it's a challenge. It's an opportunity to prove yourself wrong, to step beyond the limits you've set for yourself. Every time you act in spite of doubt, you are building determination. Every time you push forward when part of you wants to quit, you are rewriting the story you tell yourself about your own capabilities. Struggle forces you to choose. Will you let pain and doubt break you, or will you use them as fuel? The moment you decide that your pain will have a purpose is the moment you take back your power. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, how can I use this? That mindset shift changes everything. You start to see that your struggles can become the foundation of your strength, and that your determination is not something you're born with. It's something you earn, one choice at a time. Some of the most driven people in the world have walked through deep valleys of pain. They know what it feels like to be at rock bottom, to question everything, to wonder if they'll ever rise again. But instead of letting that pain keep them down, they transformed it into a mission. They took their hardships and turned them into fuel for action. They decided that the pain they endured would not be wasted. It would become the reason they kept going. That's how pain becomes purpose. It's no longer just something that happened to you. It's something you use to create impact, growth, and change. The same is true for determination. Determination is not about never having doubts. It's about refusing to let doubt make your decisions for you. It's about showing up even when you feel unprepared, unqualified, or uncertain. Struggle gives you countless opportunities to do this. Every obstacle you face asks the same question: Will you stop here, or will you keep going? Each time you choose to keep moving forward, even if it's just one small step, you strengthen your determination. Over time, this becomes a habit, a way of approaching life that says, I may not know exactly how, but I will find a way. A pain also gives you empathy, which can deepen your sense of purpose. When you've been through struggle, you understand the challenges others face. You can relate to their fears, their doubts, and their hardships. This connection can ignite a desire to help, to contribute, to be part of something greater than yourself. Suddenly, your struggle isn't just about your own growth. It's about lifting others who are still in the middle of theirs. That's when your purpose expands, and your determination grows even stronger. Because now it's not only about you, it's about the people you can serve and inspire. It's important to acknowledge that transformation doesn't happen instantly. In the middle of the struggle, it may feel like there is no meaning, no light, and no progress. The pain may feel pointless, and the doubt may seem louder than your belief. But transformation is often silent at first. You may not see it happening, but every step you take, every time you refuse to give in, every time you choose to keep trying, the change is taking root. When you look back later, you realize that the person who began this journey is not the same person standing here now. The power of struggle is that it refines you. It strips away what is unnecessary, sharpens your focus, and forces you to decide what truly matters. In that refining process, pain becomes your teacher, and doubt becomes your motivator. You learn that your limits are not as fixed as you once thought, and that your purpose can grow from the very places where you once felt broken. One day, the pain you feel now will be part of your story, a story that can inspire someone else to keep going. One day, the doubts that hold you back today will be replaced by the determination to take on even bigger challenges. And when that day comes, you will realize that the struggle didn't just change your circumstances, it changed you. It turned your pain into a mission and your doubt into unstoppable drive. So, when you find yourself in the middle of a struggle, remember this: what feels like a burden now can become the foundation of your strength. Every hardship holds the potential to awaken your purpose. Every moment of uncertainty holds the opportunity to grow your determination. The transformation may not be immediate, but it is inevitable for those who refuse to give up. Struggle, when embraced, doesn't just make you stronger. It gives you the clarity, the will, and the fire to keep moving toward the life you were meant to leave. The strongest people are those who rise after every fall. Strength is not measured by how perfectly you avoid mistakes or how smoothly your life runs. It's measured by how many times you've been knocked down and chosen to stand back up again. Everyone stumbles. Everyone faces setbacks, failures, and moments when life doesn't go according to plan. What separates the strongest from the rest is not that they avoid falling, but that they refuse to stay down. They understand that each fall, each disappointment, and each loss is not the end. It's a step in the journey toward becoming the person they are meant to be. Falling can feel devastating in the moment. It can bruise your ego, crush your confidence, and make you question your worth. You might feel like you've wasted time, lost opportunities, or let yourself and others down. In those moments, it's tempting to stay on the ground, to give up and accept defeat. But the strongest people know that the real danger isn't in falling. It's in refusing to rise again. The moment you choose to get back up, you take back control over your story. You refuse to let failure define you, and instead, you use it as fuel for growth. Every rise after a fall teaches you something new about yourself. You learn that you are more resilient than you thought, that you can survive pain you once thought would destroy you, and that setbacks are not permanent unless you allow them to be. These lessons build a foundation of inner strength that can't be shaken by life's challenges. You begin to see falls not as signs of weakness, but as necessary steps in the process of becoming stronger. The truth is, no one achieves anything meaningful without falling along the way. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders, every one of them has failed at something. They've faced rejection, made mistakes, and experienced moments when they wanted to quit. But what sets them apart is that they didn't stop. They stood up after each failure, often with new insight and greater determination. Each fall became a lesson, and each lesson brought them closer to success. Rising after a fall also requires humility. It means admitting that you are not perfect, that you can make mistakes, and that you can learn from them. This humility keeps you open to growth. The strongest people are not the ones who pretend they have it all figured out. They are the ones who are willing to adapt, to change their approach, and to keep trying until they find a way forward. They are not afraid to start over, because they know that starting over with experience is not the same as starting from nothing. One of the most powerful things about rising after a fall is that it builds confidence in your ability to overcome future challenges. The first time you rise, it may feel almost impossible. But once you've done it, you realize you can do it again and again. This creates a cycle of resilience. The more you rise, the more you trust yourself to rise in the future. You stop fearing failure as much because you know it's not the end. It's just a moment in the journey. Rising also changes the way you see others. When you've experienced your own falls, you understand that everyone has their battles. You become more compassionate toward those who are struggling because you know what it's like to be in their place. And when they see you get back up after your own struggles, they are inspired to do the same. Your example becomes a source of strength for others, proving that setbacks can be overcome and that perseverance is worth it. There's another truth here: rising doesn't always mean bouncing back immediately or without scars. Sometimes getting up is slow. Sometimes it takes time to heal, to rebuild, and to regain your footing. That's okay. Rising is not about rushing. It's about refusing to stay down forever. The strongest people give themselves permission to rest and recover when needed, but they never lose sight of the fact that they will stand again. Every rise after a fall reshapes your character. It gives you a quiet, steady kind of strength, the kind that doesn't need to shout or prove itself. You carry yourself differently when you've survived hard things. You know that storms can't last forever, and you trust that you can weather them when they come. That trust in yourself becomes one of your greatest assets, because it gives you the courage to take risks and pursue your dreams without being paralyzed by fear of failure. In the end, the strongest people are not untouched by life's hardships. They are shaped by them. They are the ones who have been through the fire and come out on the other side, not unburned, but transformed. They wear their scars as proof of the battles they've fought and the victories they've earned, not because they never fell, but because they kept rising no matter how many times they did. So when life knocks you down, and it will, remember that your greatest strength is not in avoiding the fall. It's in the choice you make afterward. You can stay on the ground, or you can rise. And every time you choose to rise, you become stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than before. One day, you'll look back and realize that your power was never in staying on your feet. It was in proving over and over again that no matter how many times you fell, you always had the courage to stand. Progress comes from moving forward one step at a time, even in uncertainty. Many people wait for the perfect moment to act, believing that they must have a clear plan, ideal conditions, and complete confidence before taking the first step. But the truth is, life rarely gives us that kind of certainty. More often, we are called to move forward without knowing exactly where the road will lead, trusting that each step will reveal the next. Progress is not the result of huge leaps taken in moments of clarity. It's built on the small, consistent steps we take, especially when the path ahead is unclear. Uncertainty has a way of making us feel stuck. We overthink our options, imagining every possible outcome, and in the process, we delay action. We tell ourselves that we will start when we feel ready, when we have all the answers, when we know we can't fail. But waiting for certainty is often just another form of fear. If we let it, uncertainty will keep us frozen in place, and our dreams will remain ideas instead of reality. The people who make progress are not the ones who wait for all the pieces to fit perfectly. They are the ones who take a step forward with the pieces they have and trust themselves to figure out the rest along the way. The beauty of moving one step at a time is that it makes even the biggest goals feel achievable. Looking at the entire journey can be overwhelming. You see how far you have to go, and it's easy to feel like the gap between where you are and where you want to be is too wide to cross. But when you focus on just the next step, the one small action you can take today, you make progress manageable. That single step might seem small, but each one builds on the last, and over time, they carry you farther than you imagined possible. Taking small steps also allows you to adapt as you go. When you move forward in uncertainty, you may not know exactly what challenges lie ahead. If you try to plan every detail before starting, you risk locking yourself into a path that may not work. But by taking it one step at a time, you can adjust your direction as you learn more. You become flexible, able to respond to new information and unexpected opportunities. This adaptability is one of the greatest strengths you can develop, and it comes from being willing to start without knowing the full picture. Progress in uncertainty also builds confidence. The first steps you take might be shaky. You may doubt yourself or question whether you're moving in the right direction. But with each action, you prove to yourself that you are capable of moving forward, even without perfect clarity. You see that you can handle challenges as they come, that you can find solutions, and that you can keep going even when things feel difficult. This confidence doesn't come from thinking about the journey. It comes from walking it. It's worth remembering that many of the most meaningful achievements in history were made by people who began in uncertainty. Innovators, leaders, and creators often started their journeys without knowing exactly how things would turn out. They didn't have every answer, but they had the courage to take the first step. Each action they took revealed new possibilities, and each possibility opened doors they couldn't have seen from the starting line. That is the nature of progress. You can't always see the whole path until you begin walking it. One of the challenges of moving forward in uncertainty is dealing with the fear of making mistakes. You might worry that the step you take will be the wrong one, that you'll waste time or energy, or that you'll have to start over. But mistakes are part of the process. They are not proof that you failed. They are proof that you're trying. And every mistake you make teaches you something that will guide your next step. Progress is built on a foundation of trial and error, and each attempt moves you closer to your goal. Another benefit of moving one step at a time is that it keeps you from becoming paralyzed by the size of your dream. If you focus only on the end result, the distance can feel impossible. But if you focus on just what you can do right now, the journey becomes less intimidating. This is why climbers scale mountains one step at a time, runners complete marathons 1 mile at a time, and builders create great structures one brick at a time. The principle is the same: small, steady actions add up to extraordinary achievements. Even in uncertainty, there is always something you can do. You may not have the full map, but you have the next step. And when you take that step, the next one becomes clearer. Over time, you'll look back and realize that what felt like a series of small, uncertain moves was actually a steady march toward something meaningful. The progress you made wasn't about speed. It was about persistence. Life will always have its unknowns. You will never have all the answers before you begin, and if you wait for them, you might never start at all. But if you commit to moving forward, just one step today and another tomorrow, you will find that uncertainty doesn't have to hold you back. It can become the space where growth happens, where resilience develops, and where unexpected opportunities arise. One day, you will look back at the times you moved forward despite uncertainty and realize that they were the moments that defined your life. You will see that progress was never about having it all figured out. It was about trusting yourself to take the next step, no matter how unclear the path seemed. And in that trust, you will discover that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. The battles you face today are shaping you into someone unstoppable tomorrow. In the heat of the moment, when you are in the middle of a fight you never asked for, it can be hard to see anything beyond the struggle. The weight of your challenges may feel overwhelming. The obstacles in front of you might seem immovable, and the uncertainty of the outcome can stir up doubt. But every battle, whether it's external or internal, is doing more than just testing you. It's training you. It's sharpening your skills, deepening your resilience, and preparing you for a future where you will be stronger, wiser, and more capable than you are right now. Life's greatest growth doesn't come from the easy days, it comes from the difficult ones. The moments that challenge you the most are the ones that leave the deepest mark on who you become. Every time you face adversity and refuse to back down, you are building the mental toughness that will carry you through future storms. It's not about avoiding challenges, it's about learning how to stand in the middle of them with the belief that you will come out the other side. Even when the outcome is uncertain, the process of fighting builds a strength that nothing else can. These battles are not just random hardships, they are opportunities for transformation. They strip away the excess, forcing you to focus on what truly matters. They teach you patience when you want quick results, discipline when you're tempted to quit, and courage when fear is loud. You may not see it now, but the qualities you're developing in the struggle are the very ones you will need to achieve your greatest dreams. The determination you gain from fighting through today's challenges will become the foundation for tomorrow's victories. Think about a warrior preparing for battle. They don't become skilled by reading about combat or imagining how they would react. They train in the field, facing real tests that push them to their limits. Every fight owns their instincts, sharpens their strategy, and strengthens their resolve. Life works the same way. The difficulties you are facing now are your training ground. They are refining you into someone who can not only survive challenges, but rise above them. It's also worth noting that battles reveal your hidden strengths. When things are easy, you don't have to dig deep. But in the heat of a challenge, you find parts of yourself you didn't know existed. You discover that you can endure more than you thought, that you can solve problems under pressure, and that you can keep moving even when everything in you wants to stop. These realizations are powerful because they change the way you see yourself. Once you've proven to yourself that you can face the fire and come out stronger, you carry that confidence into every future situation. The battles you face today also shape your perspective. Struggle has a way of clarifying what matters most. It strips away the noise and distractions, making you more intentional about your time, energy, and focus. When you fought hard for something, you value it more deeply. You also develop empathy for others who are fighting their own battles, because you know firsthand how difficult the journey can be. This empathy not only makes you stronger in character, but also allows you to inspire and support others along their paths. Sometimes, the hardest part of the battle is not the fight itself, but the waiting. Progress can feel slow. You may take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and it can be frustrating when you can't see the end in sight. But even in those moments, you are building endurance. You are learning to persist without instant gratification, and that skill will serve you in every area of your life. The ability to keep going when results are not immediate is one of the most valuable traits you can develop. It's important to remember that being shaped into someone unstoppable doesn't mean you won't face difficulties in the future. It means that when those difficulties come, you will be ready. You'll have the strength to face them, the wisdom to navigate them, and the resilience to rise from them. You will have learned from past battles that challenges are not the end. They are the beginning of a new stage of growth. That knowledge gives you a quiet confidence that others can feel, and it makes you a steady presence in turbulent times. One day, you will look back at the battles you're fighting now and realize they were pivotal moments in your life. You'll see that they were shaping your mindset, building your persistence, and preparing you for opportunities you couldn't have imagined at the time. The struggle that feels heavy today will become the reason you can carry even greater responsibilities tomorrow. The pain that feels sharp now will become the source of your strength. The process is not always comfortable, and it's not meant to be. Growth often requires discomfort. Just as a diamond is formed under extreme pressure and steel is forged in fire, your character is being refined in the heat of your current challenges. This is how you become unstoppable, not by avoiding the fight, but by facing it head on and refusing to be defeated. So the next time you feel like you are in the middle of a battle you can't win, remind yourself that the fight is not just about the outcome. It's about who you are becoming in the process. You are being shaped, strengthened, and prepared for something greater. The you that will emerge from this season will be tougher, more focused, and more determined than ever before. And when tomorrow comes, you will realize that the battles you fought today were not in vain. They were the very reason you became unstoppable.